Yo, what's up, everybody? This is PFUNK, and I'm chilling today with JR on the crew. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about Ice Cube's Good Day pre-rolls, Caviar Gold, Caviland, Axism. We're just going to be talking about it all. So stay tuned right now. It's coming right up. Let's smoke.
What's going on, everybody? I had to switch it up because I have Blanca in the studio and she's over there making fun of me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of JR on the Crew. Hey, that's my signature opening, man. But hey, man, welcome to another episode of JR on the Crew, man. Located right here at the Plaza West Covina. But hey, man, this episode is brought to you by Black Widow Investigation, your legal team. So look, man, if you get in a car accident, motorcycle accident, you want to sue your friend, you know, because your friend is just a jerk, or maybe, hey, you need to get a divorce. Call Black Widow Investigations. That's what it's all about, man. They will help you out. Also, if you have a motorcycle and, you know, right when you, after the motorcycle, when you get a motorcycle about a year or two, hey, the warranty wears off. Make sure you guys call Black Widow Cycle Guard. They got a warranty that will take care of you and your bike. So make sure you call Black Widow Cycle Guard as well. So, today, man, we have a great episode. Our guest, he's amazing and stuff. But before we get into that, I got a couple of things I want to share with you guys. I hope you guys liked last week's episode with Rocky Nash. We're going to do it once a month, man. I'm really excited about it. It's just sharing from our heart, man. And so if you guys have any questions or you guys want to, any topics, you know, towards, the things of God, hey, we just want to share with us. We'll talk about it, me and Rocky, on our next episode. It's going to happen once a month. Just to get a little, inspirational, spiritual on you guys, taking it to, see where it goes. Just see where it goes, right? Austin loved it. Austin told me he loved it. Austin actually gave his life to the Lord today. Thank you, Jesus. But hey, one of the things I want to talk about, man, is this, man, is how much you put into something is what you get out of it. That's the most important thing. Me and Jimmy always talk about that. You see the results in what you put in. Because me and Jimmy, back in the day, we would try all kinds of things, man. We were selling credit card processing. We were videotaping weddings, doing all kinds of stuff just to make finances because we wanted to be in video production. But we knew that whatever we saw the results in everything that we put our 100% into it. Because when you put your 100% into it, that's your return. And that's with anything that you want to do in life, because with success, true success is something that you deliberately seek out to do, and you are doing it. That is success. Success is what you define success as. Because too much on this Instagram, Facebook, you see people with Lambos, you see people living extravagant lifestyles just to put it on the Instagram. That's their success. We sometimes measure ourselves according to that. But true success is, even if you set out to be a teacher, you want to be a teacher, or you want to be a police officer, or you want to do a podcast, and you're setting out to do it, and you're doing it 100%, that is true success. And if you're doing anything else, yeah, basically that's failure, because you're doing something else. But that is true success, because a lot of people, we set out to do things and we want to find ourselves. We put ourselves in certain positions and certain things. But that is true success, is when you deliberately go out and you do something. And look, just because it doesn't work doesn't mean it's not meant to be. Dude, I'm telling you right now, like I said, me and Jimmy have tried so many different jobs and opportunities that it's actually, it led us to what we're doing now. And we've been seeing the success, and we've been seeing what we're doing, because the failures that we've had were not actually failures, but they were adjustments. Would you say? Yeah, they taught us to make the adjustments to better ourselves so that we could do what we need to do. I mean, we've been in the entertainment industry for a long time. We've done a film together. We've done a lot of things together, but it's because of our passion, us being consistent. I mean, Jimmy, hey, if you guys need car service, my boy Jimmy has you guys covered with that. Jimmy is slacking on giving me his promo, guys. That's your guys. We'll let Jimmy know that. But hey, if you guys need a car service, Jimmy, and that's the good thing about him too, man. And that's what I love about, and that's a perfect example of someone setting out, because every day he's doing his car service. He started it off, perfect example, bro. I'm gonna put you on good blast. He started out by doing Uber with a regular car, Nissan Sentra. Stepped out by faith to get a better car because, you know, he was like, he saw opportunity in this. From that car, he upgraded with the Infiniti to the luxury Infiniti QX80 fully loaded because of his passion. And starting with Uber, now he has private clients. That's what passion and putting your 100% into something gets you. I'm talking private clients. And that's what it's all about, even what we're doing now. And he still has the time to come with me and to be able to help out here. Because he loves them. We don't love them. Oh, yeah. So, but hey, guys, I just want to let you guys know, man, keep the faith. 100%. Anything you guys do, it will come back to you. Put God first. And right now, we got a Chicano Spotlight brought to you by Chicano Hollywood. Make sure you guys download the Chicano Hollywood app on Roku and Apple. So stay tuned for our guests.
What's up, guys? I'm Bethania from Chicano Hollywood, and this week we are so excited to announce that we are partnering up with JR and the crew to have our official launch party for Chicano Hollywood Musica. Now, this event is going to be so special. We have dope performances from Mia May, Amora J, Priscilla Torres, Taupe, and El James. They'll be hosted by our own video jockeys, and it's just going to kick off summer right. Now, if you've been following what we're doing with Chicano Hollywood Musica, you'll see that we've had some really cool original content on the app now. We've collaborated with some great artists. This is our first time getting to do an event in person. So please come on out, especially if you are a Chicano independent artist. This is a great way for us to meet you, get connected, and keep building the movement. So special thank you to our sponsor, Black Widow Investigations, and we hope to see you there.
What's up, everybody? Hey, check it out, man. We are back. And look, man, I have a great guest, okay? I have a great guest. Even before we started the interview, he started interviewing me. So it was awesome. But let's welcome PFUNK to the studio, man. We have PFUNK in the studio.
What's up, everybody? JR and the crew.
Don't worry, the claps come in and post. Don't worry, we got you.
We'll add it in the claps.
Yeah. No, but thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And I got your bio. I was able to read a little bit about you, and not even a little bit. You've done a lot about you, brother. And it's amazing to have you here, and even you giving me the compliments of the radio stuff and being able to do what I do. Where did you get your start? Because I know I kind of read a little bit, but I still didn't find out where you.
What was included in there was a lot of what I had transitioned into. But
what you transitioned to. Yeah.
My early beginnings were wanting to get into the music industry and really wanted to get into working at a record label. That was what was my ambition, and I felt going to college was going to be part of the way to get there. Living, being here in Los Angeles, going to college in Los Angeles, this is the mecca of the entertainment industry.
Right.
It's got to be a route, But my early years in radio started as an intern.
Wow, with what record?
Working behind the scenes with radio station 92.3 The Beat, which became a legendary radio station here in Los Angeles. But we're talking like early 93, 94, I believe.
And it's kind of cool because, okay, you did ask me, can I cuss on here? I mean, literally, dude, how strict is it? Because some people are like, okay, we had ODM here.
Yeah.
And ODM was like, no, JR, you do not want the radio because it's so like...
Well, now. And it was like that then, too. But early on, 93, like, man, you're making me go way, way back. But way back was when Howard Stern was at the top of the radio chain.
Wow, yeah.
And here we were, this little, what was considered a black radio station in Los Angeles, saying a lot of bitch and hoes. And the FCC was trying to come down on us. But we're like, what are you talking about? Howard Stern is saying steadily every day, bitch and hoe. So we were kind of that station that put a stop between other stations being able to do things that we couldn't.
All right.
And but definitely one of the things was not saying certain words. You could not say the SH word. You couldn't say you could say bitch.
You can't say the SH word. You're saying everything else. He's like, you can't say the SH word.
I don't know. I'm so used to it, not saying it. And everything was live. We were live then.
I know. That's crazy.
We woke up every morning to live radio, so we had to just watch our steps. Not so much as now. I think now, like with ODM being on an iHeart radio station, it's probably much harder now to.
Well, he's not on there anymore.
Right.
He has his own
during
podcast
the
now.
many
Yeah.
years that he was on it.
Yeah, he said he started getting more syndicated and stuff, so it was a little harder. And then so like not scripted, but so formatted.
Oh, yeah,
That we
for
don't have the liberty to do this.
Oh yeah, no, radio is not. We're talking, moons ago when I first started, and way back in the '90s when I progressed into radio. But this is at a time when there was no social media. So go back to when radio was MySpace, Facebook, IG,
Everything.
iSnap, every TikTok.
Yeah.
Radio was that. That's what everybody tuned into in the 90s. And our radio station was definitely one of the first in the early 90s to kind of kick it off. And, took off to being the number one radio station here in Los
Nice, man.
Angeles.
Because back in the day, man, I remember in the '90s, I used to literally, listen to Power Tools at night.
Oh, yeah.
I used to put the cassette tape in, press the record, play and record, and then go to bed and wake up in the morning. It's all Power Tools, and I was like, that was my music, man.
Yeah, Power 106 was one of our big competitors here in Los Angeles for many years. We battled them, and they were in the.
Oh, I'm
early
talking about
years.
Power. Sorry, bro.
It's all good.
I'm talking about Power. He's all
It's all
93.
good. Oh, we got drama. Yeah, we can take it back to those days. We definitely had those times too in the early years of us each being so down with our radio stations. Like a gang. It was on like that too.
That's interesting. What was one of your? Because I seen that you interviewed a couple of people. What was one of your iconic interviews?
Well, I think one of the most iconic ones to date is my Tupac interview.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
And I have two actually interviews, but only one on YouTube, which is I interviewed him 6 months before he passed.
Really?
Just in passing, just on a whim. But a lot of times in radio, especially way back then, that's how the great stuff happened, on a whim. And having interviewed Tupac just 6 months before he passed, and how legendary he became following his passing, so did that interview, because not a lot of people got to interview Tupac.
No, and it's so cool because as I was listening to it, it was cool to see how genuine he was with you, and you guys were with each other and stuff. And then even the radio DJs, they were surprised that you even had him.
By 1996, by February 96, we weren't number one yet. We were well on our way. So I had already been on that morning show 2 years. So by that time, I was on my game, and Tupac, having just put out that album, All Eyes on Me, he was on his game. So It was about, we were both on our game, and half of that was made up. I was not running around in my drawers, like he says in the interview. But he knew how to propel and make it hype for radio. And I was radio super hype at that time. Number one at doing it. We became number one, less than a year later to prove it. But at that time, we were both on our game. So it sounded like one of the dopest interviews of all times, we made him sound larger than life. And at that time, he was just Tupac on death row, not what it became later.
I know. He's a legend. Yeah. It's weird. Like, after someone passes away, it's not like, he just that legend. He just became a legend.
Well, especially for hip hop, Aaliyah, Tupac. I mean, even Rick James, and just anything that became of hip hop, because it was newer and it was our era, and they were young.
Yeah,
they were very young.
But how did somebody even get into radio? Because back then, it has to be a lot harder back then. Now maybe a little easier.
Oh man, no, it was really, 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 really.
Like you said, there's
hard.
no social media.
Yeah, there was no social media back then. It was all about being an intern and working for free and getting your name out there by whoever you worked with.
Great, thanks, PFUNK.
They said it.
Now there's gonna be a picket outside the door right here.
Right, strike tomorrow. But no, back then it was all about getting an internship. You were in college, you had a network, you had to get the hookup. And back then there was no rap on radio. There was no rap on radio.
Right.
It was black music, but it was not rap. So you had to blend in, and becoming an intern at a record label type facility was one way of getting your foot in the door.
And then you said that's the way you stepped in.
Yeah.
Well, what record label?
I worked first for Capitol Records.
Oh, shoot.
I was working prior to that at the Burbank Mall at the Warehouse Record Store. So working at the Warehouse Record Store, I knew would introduce me to some record labels and people that worked at record labels. And I met this chick, and she introduced me to this other chick. She invited me to a party. And that's where I met like the head of promotions at Capitol Records, and she was like, "Oh, I like you. Come on through and just help us file shit, you know."
Help us, oh man.
Yeah.
What's funny, our earlier podcast that we used to do, we had green screens, huh, Jim, and we like, oh yeah, we're right here, we're on the top floor of Capitol Records. That's where we do our podcast. We'd always, and I would put the green screen Capitol Records. Right. We just messed it around because that's funny.
I mean, it was a trip. It was during a time that the Beastie Boys were coming out with their album on Capitol Records.
Damn.
And it was just, you know, looking back at that time, it was like the Beastie Boys were transitioning, and it was just super big, and I was super young, and I was super hyped at being able to do this, you know, because even back then for an internship, I mean, I luckily got that one on a whim, but my next internship at BMG was well defined. I had to go dress for an interview. I had to beat out 34 other candidates to get that one position, to be an intern, work for free, and be there 5 days a week.
Shoot.
You know, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Doing internship.
I don't even think this generation would even want to do something like that.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't
They don't
dare.
even know what it is. Yeah,
they don't. And at that time, you know, being young, living in Los Angeles, I had to work because I lived on my own.
Wow.
At a young, early age, I
were you raised, born and raised?
No, I was actually born in Northern California, raised in Northern California, but all of our family is here from Los Angeles.
Okay.
My grandma's Echo Park area for many, many years.
Nice.
So I eventually moved out here many, many years ago, but.
Before the gentrification.
Definitely before Echo Park's regentrification. But all good for that, man, because it cleaned it up, and Echo Park was bad, man, at one time, you know. So it's great to see things like that happen. But
I love the fact that you came down here because, yes, LA is. It's Hollywood, man, and if you want to make it, because a lot of people ask me, "Oh, man, I want to make it into honestly, my family members, they live in Vegas. Oh, I'm gonna put my son into acting." I go, "Where?" They're like, "Oh, right here." I go, "No, you got to come to LA. If you're going to make it, in the industry, you got to come to LA."
You know, having been raised up north, but having come to LA 3 times a year, visiting family, always coming out here, I just begged my parents to live out here one day, and it didn't happen until I was old enough to do it on my own. And once I did, I was definitely destined and like passionate about getting into the entertainment game one way or another. So getting in those internships, you know, getting into college and getting those internships, I had to fight for them. You had to fight for them because they didn't come easy. It's not like now, but they'll take you as an intern all day. Your people. No, but I'll just say, but you know. But you don't. It was different back then. You really had to fight. You really had to earn it, and I earned my time there at BMG. But that led to other things, and your name getting recognized. And you know, shout out to my OGs, Marvin Robinson. He was the head of A&R at that time for BMG, and they were putting out like Tongue Twister. He's Twister now, but back then he was like brand new to the label. This young guy that can, you know, rap a million words a minute.
So you know Twister?
Well, back then I knew him, you know. I've met many people since then, but he's just, at that time, that's who I was, you know, sending a lot of stuff, working for.
No, that's awesome. I love it because, real quick, let's talk about it because you did say back then it was all street promotion. It was all making it happen because there was no social media.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, what comes up? MySpace.
Yeah, but that was definitely still years after.
But MySpace, I kind of liked MySpace better than Facebook. Want to know why? Because at least you could customize MySpace.
Yeah, I love.
You were able to customize MySpace
having music
and have your top 10
page.
friends.
Yes.
If you made it to my top 10 friends, damn it.
That part.
And then you get, DM'd. How dare you? I'm not on your top 10.
The comments.
Yeah, the comments. Everybody getting all pissed off.
Yeah.
But I loved it, man.
I did too.
So real quick, we're gonna take a quick break.
Sure.
When we come back, man, we're gonna talk a little bit more about PFUNK. How'd you get the name? You know, you're a brand ambassador guy that makes things move. I heard you make things move.
Boom.
So guys, we're gonna do a contract on this episode, and he's gonna start managing Jerry on the crew. No, just say. But we'll be right back, man. We got PFUNK in the studio. We'll be right back. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're enjoying the show. Just real quick plug. Look, make sure you guys call Black Widow Investigations. If you get in trouble, criminal law, family law, divorce, I'm talking you want to get your kids back, a DUI, look, call Black Widow Investigations. When other law firms tell you, you know what, there's no chance, hey, you call Black Widow Investigations. They will make sure that they take care of you. All right? Let them know JR and the crew sent you.
little Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes, that's the thing. Hey guys, we're back, man, and P-Funk is right on, man. I really wanted to make this desk like a Jimmy. Well, I like Jimmy Fallon.
Un chiquito poquito.
This is the desk. I still want to fill it up with a lot of stuff. I don't know yet, so we're gonna get to that. Kind of like Tony A, the Wizard.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
his desk full, all kind of stuff. That's gonna be my goal, to fill it up with all my stuff.
All right.
Yeah, or when people bring stuff in, I get to put it all right here and stuff. Right. So let's talk about you. Okay, I can't talk about me.
Maybe an LA view in the back.
Yeah,
LA
see?
New York.
See, the guys, he's producing, guys. He's producing. It's coming out of him right now, guys.
It happens quick.
It happens really quick. Get the contract, Blanca. Hurry, man. Sign it right now. Print it out. The printer's right there. No, but let's talk. How did the name P-Funk come about, man?
Oh man! So in the early '90s, it was really hard to get funk music. Straight up, like
Wow.
the only way you could get funk music was on vinyl.
Okay.
In the early 90s. So one of my homeboys used to, spin a lot of vinyl, and we were into funk, funk like Rick James, SOS Band, the popular funk.
Right.
But it was hard to get. So I used to make these cassettes. You know how you were saying you press the cassette? We literally would put the cassette next to the turntable, record it, and I would go to this place called Record Finder in Hollywood, where you would spend like $30, $40. That was a lot of money back then on one record. On one record, and I put a compilation together, and I would sell cassettes, best of old school volume 1, best of funk volume 2, and I did 3 volumes with my homeboys, with him on the turntables and me buying the records, and I would sell these cassettes. So when I first got my internship at the radio station, because that's how it all started, as an internship, I was selling these cassette tapes to the older black folks that worked there, because it was the black station, we were playing black music.
Oh, my
and they
God.
were like, we got to come up with a name for you, because we were just starting the street team, first radio station to ever create a street team. And one of the guys, Phil the Thrill, which, rest in peace, his funeral is this Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Phil the Thrill, I started in radio with him, and he just passed away recently, so I just want to give him a shout out, because this weekend is his funeral, and probably see a lot of people from way back in the day. But back in our early day when we were first starting, Phil the Thrill already had his name. He was Phil Hernandez, but he went by Phil the Thrill. And Cornelius Edwards, he went by Corn Dog. Snoop Dogg was just coming out, so Corn Dog wasn't too far-fetched, He became very popular too. So the older black folks were like, we got to come up with a name for you. We're going to call you Old School P. And I was just like, man, I don't know about Old School P, man, because I was a baby.
I'm still young, man. Why is it old
I'm
school?
Old School P. I mean, I get it, the cassettes and, the music. So I went home that evening, and me and my homie, shout out to Aaron B. We were, just young and smoking, and we were bumping one of my cassette tapes, which had George Clinton, Parliament, playing some P-Funk. And he was like, there it is, bro. And my real name starts with the letter P. He was like, that's it, P-Funk, bro.
P-Funk.
So
and it's still
there
with
it is. The rest is history. I went the next day, and I was like, yo, y'all ain't going to call me Old School P. It's P-Funk. And they were like, all right, it's P-Funk. So
that's dope, man.
That was back
But
in
how long did it
94.
last for being on the radio?
I was on the radio from 93 to late 99.
Oh,
so
okay, good
of
run.
all the years of hip hop taking over, and I'm not saying that to say that. I'm saying when the hip hop radio stations took over, when hip hop music took over in sales, it was the first time ever by 1996, 7, 8 that hip hop music outsold country music for the first time ever in history.
Wow.
So hip hop culture began. That's when all the hip hop clothing lines started. Everyone started to have a clothing line, and the music was what it was all about, having the CDs and the concerts and the big shows and the summer jams and things like that really started to take off in hip hop and hip hop culture. So I was I was in it at the start prime of it.
Wow,
when,
man, that's amazing.
When black music became hip hop and our station became an R&B hip hop station.
So you've been in the radio,
Yeah.
and you keep on saying the black music. Why not the Chicano music?
What do you mean? And it was black music that was being played.
Right, exactly. But why do you think we didn't have that opportunity?
It's not that we didn't have the opportunity. We just weren't breaking records. There wasn't really, not in the field of hip hop and R&B. I mean, there definitely are some Latinos in hip hop that have definitely were definitely part of that era. Cypress Hill, their records were getting played.
Okay.
Lighter Shade of Brown, their records were getting played. So there were some names that Kid Frost. I mean, his record was still getting played even.
But were you always getting hit up to like because you consider yourself Latino, right? Latino in that industry, people coming to, come on, P-Funk, dude, come on, man.
Nah, back then it was a little different, you know, like, don't step to me. Like, it was, I don't know. I mean, people would step to you because they knew that you were an outlet or you had the outlet. So, I mean, of course, you get the CDs, but they didn't feel like, at that time, people didn't feel like that was the only way. Back then, it was being in the streets, promoting your shit, hustling your music, making sure everybody's hearing it, like, right there, you know, because there was no social media. So,
there's
you
none.
had to just hit people up face to face. It was very face to face, very, you know, hands-on driven.
And what do you think? What is your take on the people having to hustle back then to now? All they have to do is put it on SoundCloud or do something crazy on Instagram, and all of a sudden now they're
Yeah, but even so, you know, you still have to. Your music still got to be really good for a gang of people to want to listen to it and buy it. You know what I'm saying? You could have an audience, you know, and I don't really look at people's numbers. I want to know the behind the scenes, what your music sold, you know. And then today, there's so many other ways to monitor it. Back then, it was just SoundScan. You know, now there's Spotify and spins and likes and all this other stuff that you know are more managed in a different way, and it's all computer generated now. Back then, it was just. It was computer generated in a sense, but the technology then.
No, the technology now has evolved. It's evolved. Would you left radio and everything, and then you went into. I noticed you're branding. I mean, you come in all looking all fresh with some ankle bracelet. You come in with all kinds of stuff.
Fashion statement.
Statement. I mean, it's like you've evolved. It's like throughout the years as well.
Yeah, man. Thank you. You know, after television, I mean, after radio, it was a given to do television. You know, I had a few great opportunities while I was in radio, getting some great opportunities in television. One of my biggest was being on late night TV with Sinbad doing Vibe Television, and that was a national show on NBC. And you know, I got to do stuff on MTV, BT, and things like that because I was in radio, and it partnered at that time a lot, you know, because there was no social media, there wasn't that, so TV and radio kind of partnered. And then after radio, I did not want to be on the microphone at all. I wanted to be totally behind the scenes. I learned so much by then that.
Were you tired of it, or you just wanted to be behind scenes? You just
I was definitely tired of it. We became #1 by '97, so by '98 I was like over it.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
You know, I made a lot of good money. I made a lot of good
connections.
I felt at that time, especially, that I could pretty much do whatever I want to do now. If I could do this and become #1 at it, then what's next?
That's awesome, man.
So TV just kind of form-fitted, you know, my network form-fitted into transition, because I really wanted to be a marketing director at a record label. I even was trying to talk to, I knew every label by then, you know, and they were like, but P-Funk, you're radio, bro. So I kind of had to prove that, no, I'm a motherfucking marketing director. And I had to start becoming a marketing director, you know, and start at the bottom again in a sort of sense.
Oh, shoot.
I worked at Latin Style Magazine, and not to say the bottom, that they were at the bottom of the pile, but Latin Style, the Latin jump off was about to take off. So
you had to prove yourself. I understand, yeah.
So being Latino, I wanted to be part of that jump off. You know, Jennifer Lopez, Ricky Martin, those things just started to become commercial and transition, and it was like, yo, I want to be a part of this. And my way at that time was Latin Style Magazine. And working in that realm of entertainment, being behind the scenes, but still connected to the celebrities and still being connected to the events and the parties. But we were creating a dope magazine, which was Latin Style. We interviewed everyone from Selena to Carlos Santana.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, and that magazine.
You've just been in the entertainment industry the whole time, man. I love it,
bro. Yeah. I never wanted to do, I mean, even at times coming out of radio and trying to find where I was going to transition to, and not wanting to just settle for anything, you know, really wanting to be that marketing director. And no one was really giving me that opportunity, because they saw me as radio, they saw me as the guy on TV, and I was like, nah, fuck, so I really got to do this, you know? And when you start to do it on your own, as you know, it becomes a little tougher, because now you're in control of every single day of what you got to do and how much you got to put into it to do it. And you know, first it was Latin Style magazine, then Rap Pages magazine, and different opportunities that would prevail and come up next to make me that marketing director that I knew I was, you know, but I had to prove it. And by proving it was working for brand after brand. And I just started liking it more. I felt attached to the brands that I would work with and grow and build them. And I felt that's where I was most passionate. Obviously, I wanted to do that, you know, outside of radio, not being the forefront guy. I wanted to prove it. And by proving it, you know, your magazine gets out there, people love it, it's on the shelf, and you have parties and events, and you know, it becomes all part of what
you're doing. Yeah,
I was doing and what I always.
Dude, you probably have so much cheese, man, on so many people. We're gonna have to start another segment of like PFUNK After Dark, Cheese Man Unplugged. Yeah,
it's so funny because I forget all of them. You know, I try to remember it, and then someone will be like, "P, remember that time?"
And you're just
I'll
like,
be like, "Oh, clear as day." Like, but I'll look at some photos too. I got a ton of photos. That's what makes me different from a lot of people that were in radio at that time. I used to carry a camera.
Hey.
I used to carry a camera because no one had phones that had cameras on them back then either.
Right, yeah.
So I used to carry a camera. So all of my receipts are photos, real photos.
Nice,
of all of those times and even the after hours times, you know?
That's great.
So when I look at a photo, it's like, oh, yeah, I did all that. I'll actually share a really good story that just came up. So, you know, I have collected a ton of memorabilia through all of those years. At one time, I was saying, in some time in my life, I'm going to own a sports bar, and I'm going to put all this memorabilia up as hip-hop memorabilia. And I have everything from autographs from people like Aaliyah and West Side Connection and just memorabilia, shirts, hat, everything, stickers, buttons from all of those years in the 90s. And I was saving it for many years. One of them is a No Limit jersey. 1998, I was hired to be the host of the No Limit Soldiers concert. And Master P and all the No Limit Soldiers were going to perform. It was at Universal Amphitheater, and Priority Records made a special No Limit jersey for me.
Damn, that's
and
nice.
I just recently had it on the auction, and they lost it. So long story short, they owed me a nice amount of money for losing that jersey. And I just got paid the other day for them losing that jersey.
Dinner on PFUNK.
But the point I'm trying to make is that jersey was a one of a kind because it was a Priority Records, No Limit. I mean, it wasn't signed by Master P or nothing, but it was a real jersey from the host of the show that night. And this is what happened. That was a real event. It was a sold-out show at Universal Amphitheater, and it was Master P, No Limit Soldiers. They got on stage, and in the very first segment of the show where they performed, some drama stirred up backstage. Snoop Dogg had just became part of No Limit, and Death Row had sent some people there to represent, and some drama started backstage, and people started running, and before you know it, the show was canceled. So it never happened.
I think there's some video clips out there with that.
I doubt there's video clips because nobody had phones back then. But there's a jersey that was part of that night of the host that was that part of that night. So anyways, I did have the jersey still, and the auction place, they did sell some of my items, but they did lose that one, and they ended up paying me off for that jersey. So there's a little story behiing that particular jersey.
You're really well connected with a lot of people, man. You've done a lot of stuff, but let's talk about the brands, man. I mean, because you are now. They're letting me know we got third segment. Okay, third segment. He made me wait till the third segment to see the brands that he's brought and he represents and he pushes and stuff. Because we got to talk about it. You represent people as well, right? Sometimes. Jared and the crew. All right, guys. So we'll be right back, man. We got PFUNK in the studio.
Yeah, Reverie on the mic. I got some bust of freestyle tonight. So fuck it, if it don't come out right, I'ma still spit it into this fucking mic. Yeah, fuck the hype, I got skills, I keep it real. Tell your motherfuckers how to feel. No record deal, but I'm coming to the top. I got the hot spot, and you can tell me what you want. I'll say fuck the cops, I'm not gonna stop till I reach the tip top. Yeah, number one love, that sure is hip hop. Reverie from the northeast Los Angeles. Used to be running the streets and smoking angel dust, but now I'm done with that part of my life. And every time I get up on the mic, I get paid and I feel so fucking great. Yeah, I'm a fucking star. Reverie always coming hard, never leave them scarred.
All right, guys, we are back, man. We are back, and now I'm going to talk about what this man does. This is what this man does right now. PFUNK, man, please explain what is going on here.
Man, you know, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of different brands. Brands hire me and my company to promote them, to basically market and brand their products. So I have the luxury right now of working with a couple really great brands. One of them is Axism, Los Angeles. They are a blanks company. So basically, blanks company means
what's that
everything they sell is blank, from T-shirts to hoodies. So brands that want to create their own brand, their own logo, you know, say companies that want to put their own logo on them, they would pay for a brand like this. The difference with this brand is they're not out of China. They're not sourced out of China. They're sourced out of India, and the quality is top quality. So there's some really top brands out there that are utilizing Axism as their brand for their hoodies, their T-shirts, their brand logos, and things like that.
Right.
So Axism, check them out, axism.com. I'm really happy to be working with them, and we're getting some lines out there. Let me just say, there are some top cannabis brands that are going to be utilizing our brand for their products and their brands, and you're going to see some of our stuff on some of the top brands that are out there. Good. And aside from Axism, I am now working with Caviar Gold.
Before we get to Caviar Gold,
sure.
Let's talk about the hat.
Yeah, dope, brother, dope.
This is a dope hat,
part
dude.
of Caviar Gold.
Oh, it's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Part of their line, their dope line. And,
I like this.
Caviar Gold's been in the market for a minute. They're known for their Caviar Gold joints, and they have a collaboration going on with Ice Cube right now. They're Good Day pre-rolls. You could definitely got to check them out. They're the guys that started the Moon Rock back in the days. So for those of you out there that love Moon Rock and that's your style, and Jay and Silent Bob, they've had a collaboration with them since the beginning, and that flavor right there is amazing. And something about Caviar Gold, the percentage, the terpenes and the THC percentage in these things is off the chain.
So when you work with different individuals,
sure,
it's literally catered to each of their
No, Caviar Gold as a whole is one brand. These are all of their collaborations and their brands. So when I work with a brand, it's working with all of their different unique things. And I want to give a shout out to Caviland, my girl Angelina managing the shop out there, and of course Mike, the owner of Caviar Gold. Caviland is the first California dispensary by Caviar Gold. So it's in LA, kind of in between downtown West LA. Check them out, Washington Boulevard, Caviland. You got to go check them out. We were there for 420.
That's crazy. Caviland.
We had a blast. Bro, what's crazy is being able to walk into a shop and buy whatever you need.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And Caviland's got it. They got a lot of different other brands aside from their home brand that are there. And some of their top brands that I like that are there are just, the stuff that I like to purchase when I go into those type of stores.
No, so I guess one of my questions was this. I guess I didn't explain it right. Was now, this is the collaboration with Cube, right? Which is this?
Caviar Gold's collaboration with Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. So does this? It has like a different flavor because it's with him compared to this one.
Yes,
Bob.
They all have a little bit of a different personality.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, personality.
And a different amount of terpenes and different THC levels. And if you want to check it all out, just go to caviargold.com. Is that right? The website, caviargold.com. And of course, find us on Instagram and all the social media sites at Caviar Gold.
Does the Caviar Gold ever do any pop-ups at certain events?
Yeah. At that Caviland, they just had a big 420 event. So we got a big. They just did a Cinco de Mayo event, and we got an end of the month event coming up, and June summer event coming up. So Caviland in LA.
So when we see like Ice Cube and he's like right there,
he's gonna be there at the next one.
So he's doing this, huh?
Yeah. Ice Cube's got a lot of autograph stuff to let you know he supports Caviland. This is his brand in the cannabis world, and he's pushing. I mean, you will hear him and see him talk about it.
This is cool, man.
Yeah,
these guys are funny, Silent Bob, and then as I'm saying, like this is like kind of cool where the Snoochie Boochies.
Yeah, they were
Snoochie Boochies,
and they have a long time history audience that loves them and follows them.
Yes, I mean they have movies and everything
taken to their brand.
Oh, so theirs is sativa.
That one is a sativa one, yes.
Okay, this is sativa.
There's
okay,
different,
so it does
strains.
come in different like that. Okay,
Absolutely.
Okay, yes, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
now I'm understanding.
You can have that one if you want, Mara. Go ahead. we brought you a special bag.
No, I appreciate it.
Thank
This
you,
is
Angelina.
awesome.
Yeah, man. So, no, I get the chance to work with brands. And, of course, shout out. You mind if I give a couple shout outs?
No, give your shout outs, man. Give your shout outs.
I just want to give a shout out.
I want you to give your shout outs to the people you're working with, man, because that's people don't understand the reason why he's here, because this man works with so many people. He's helped a lot of people. He's helped even a mutual friend of ours, Noel G.
Yeah, I've worked with Noel for many years. Hector from Fast and the Furious.
Hector in every freaking movie.
And shout out to Noel, man. I follow his stories now, and he just knows how to. Back then, Noel had no idea how to do social media. Remember, Ange? Back in the day, he was not, and now he runs his social media. That is him running his Instagram, and that is him posting those live.
Dang.
So I'm so proud of him. You know,
that's awesome, man.
It's good to see Noel still doing what Noel does.
Nah, he's on there live, man. He's good. He knows how to stir up the
and he's got 2 new movies on Netflix right now, so make sure to check for him, because he just texted me to remind me, and one of them I believe is with John Travolta and
really, bro, you're gonna get that plug, bro. We're trying to plug this, okay, bro?
I gotta show love, bro.
I'm gonna send you a fee, bro. Now say, give your plugs. Give your plugs, though. I want to see who else.
I just want to give a shout out first to JR and the crew.
Woo!
Thank you, JR, for having me. Like I mentioned, it's new. I had never heard of you, but I think you do a great job. So
thank you, man.
Congratulations, and keep doing it.
Thank you for doing your research on me.
Having great guests on the show. And I think it'll go very far. Blanca, shout out to Blanca Castro for booking me on the show.
Yes.
And shout out to the whole Bobby D, my boy Bobby D, and Bobby D Presents, and the whole entire crew over there.
Yes, man.
Because that's how me and Blanca know each other.
Nice.
And we're going to continue doing some great things. So I want to give a shout out to them. I want to give a shout out to my whole VIP multimedia team, my boy Ricardo Franco, Tiffany Roby, Trey Gibson, my cousin Natalie Sabala, because of course, you can't do all this without a team.
That's right.
So they all
true, man.
help me. And of course, when they do, I got to break them off. So thank you guys for being down with the team. My girl Raina Trevino, Trevino Enterprises. I've worked with Raina for many, many years doing red carpet events. We just did the FEM Awards in Pasadena, so we continue. That's another thing that I do. It's like another one of my jobs, you know. So whenever Raina calls, I'm there, and I have to help her. It's like I go from everything from being the red carpet manager to the publicist to whatever is needed that day at that time. So I want to give a shout out to once again Access Clothing and our business partners at Saab International. Definitely got to give a shout out to them. My clients, of course, Caviar Gold and the Caviland Dispensary in Los Angeles. Once again, be sure to check them out. Bow Down Clothing. Shout out to my boys George and Jesse.
Bow Down.
They've been doing it for years. And my sponsor, my clothing sponsor, LRG Clothing. I'm not wearing LRG Clothing today, but they always lace me up. So shout out to Kevin Delaney and everybody over there, man.
Dang, man, that's a big team, man, and that's a really good team, man. I'm really, man, I'm proud of you, man. What I love about you, man, is that you're a Latino, man. Well, you're from up north. Chicano. Okay, Chicano. Yes, finally. Yes. I didn't know, because some people are like, oh, I'm Latino, I'm Chicano, I'm Latinx. Screw Latinx.
And that's that new generation.
Yeah, I don't know Latinx.
But, Mexican American, that's one thing my parents always made sure I represented. And hell yeah, that's what I am.
And so I love the fact, because the brands, is it you going after the brands, or now is it at a point where now they're searching after you because of the things you're doing?
A lot of times it is kind of either or. Sometimes in these situations, these kind of just came organically. I'm kind of not searching for anyone, and I don't feel like people are ever searching for me. So I kind of wanted these next opportunities in life in working with brands. I wanted them to come very organically.
Nice.
And I could go deep into what that means, but honestly, these opportunities with these brands came in that way.
Nice.
And it's working, the partnerships, the way that I built the partnerships with these particular brands didn't happen overnight. It's not something I wanted to just come and go. I saw these brands as really big opportunities, because these brands that you see right here are really going to blow up. Really going to blow up.
These are amazing.
It
smells great,
too. Brands that I like working with. I like starting with brands that are in their early stages. And even though Caviar Gold has a history, and they have a lot of, they're in the markets in a lot of different states, being a cannabis brand, it takes a lot. That's a lot of money and energy that it took to do that.
Right.
But it's great for me to work with brands that I know are going to have some longevity.
Nice. But what do you look for in something that you're going to start doing?
Shit that I like. I love their brand.
Because you have to like it, right? You have to like it, enjoy it.
I can't. I would not be great at. No matter how much money Pepsi gave me, I couldn't work for Pepsi, because I feel drinking soda is poison. So I can't promote a cigarette brand. So this is
stamped, approved by PFUNK. Okay, guys, because he has to like the brand. No, but it's true. How are you promoting something? Okay,
it helps when you really like the brand.
for instance, I talked about a couple episodes ago. Episodes ago, where J-Lo is coming out with her own alcohol,
Yeah.
but she don't drink.
She drinks.
She
Cut it
drink-
out.
Oh, we're getting the hit for it.
I mean, I've seen her drink. I don't know if maybe she cut it out of her diet for now.
Oh, okay.
But,
Well, apparently she
you
tells
know.
everyone she doesn't drink. That's why she has this certain physique.
Maybe.
And now you're coming out with your own
Maybe.
alcohol. But okay, whatever. But see, because I'm a believer that if you're gonna promote something, you're gonna promote it because you believe in it.
Yeah.
And so-
I mean, let's put it this way. Maybe she knows what liquor is. She's drunk liquor, and she's had liquor at her restaurant back in the day. But you know, the fact that she doesn't drink it, she at least knows what people like, and maybe they taste tested it and realize this is what.
Okay,
people
you're
enjoy,
winning
and
me. You're winning me.
I'm deep,
Okay,
bro.
you're
You got to
winning-
go
you're winning
deep
me right
into
now.
products. You can't just look at them and be like, oh, I like them. You know.
Oh, I like
there's-
the packaging.
There's especially with people like my history and knowing brands and knowing what it's gonna take to. I mean, come on, Ice Cube's a known name, but
Hell yeah.
But it's different when Ice Cube's in the cannabis world now. It's lateral, it's similar, but it's a different customer. You know, there may be people that hella smoke and love Caviar Gold, but aren't really an Ice Cube fan. You know, they're more Slipknot or somebody else. You know,
True, yeah.
But it'll bring them to Ice Cube. So there's just ways to market brands and help them.
And that's what
promote.
you do. You find that niche.
Yeah.
And you find that door, and then you just kind of go
That's
in
what
there.
I strive for. I look for that way that's going to open the door to really take that brand to
I
the
love
next
it,
level.
man.
Sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it doesn't happen with my broad network. Sometimes it happens just on a whim, on a great idea, at a great promotion, at a great time. But you got to make the dots connect, and you got to bring that network together, and you got to pull this string to pull that string to do all the things that you could do to put it on the brand.
Nice, man.
You know?
And I think, you know what? I believe that the reason why a lot of great things are happening for you is because your personality, your vibe, your aura. I can sense it. You're passionate, man.
Thank
You're
you.
passionate, and then just right when you even walked in here, I mean,
And we never met.
We
We
never
just met
met.
today.
And, yeah, we just connected and stuff. So it's like
Well-
I can see why. And then after I felt comfortable, Blanco's over here. Jerry, you're already asking him, but I felt so comfortable. Like, man, I like this guy, man. He's so cool.
Oh, thank you,
So
brother.
it's
Thank
your
you.
energy, brother. It's your energy. You have a great energy.
Well, I think that's part of being passionate about anything that anybody is passionate about. If you're passionate about something, do what drives you. You know, so many people, and this goes back to my days in radio when I would be that presenter or that air personality talking into schools and college students and young people, and I would always be like, my statement was always choose a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. That came from the Book of Wisdom. I didn't write it. But that transitioned to now, choose a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life, but you gotta work really,
gotta
really
put your
hard at it,
100% in
and
it.
you gotta be passionate about it.
That's right.
If you're passionate about it, it doesn't really feel like a job. If you're passionate, and it ultimately pays off. There's a lot of people that are working because of the check.
That's
Well,
right.
I can't be passionate. I can't go into what I'm passionate about because I need to make money. Okay, well, you need to make money then. But, that's how you're living.
And you know what's crazy? Like before you got here, I do a 5-minute segment before the show, and I literally just talked about what you just said right now. I literally talked about that you
Yeah.
got to put 100% into it because you're gonna whatever you put
150%.
whatever you
into
put
it,
in
bro.
is what you get out of it.
Yeah.
So if you're over here saying, like for instance, if you're over here saying, oh, I this is what I sell, this is what I do, but we never see you,
Right.
and you're like, oh, it doesn't work. Well, no wonder it doesn't work. You're not out there putting in work, man.
Oh man, the difference between kind of all of my years with experience and now is, a lot of these influencers have kind of taken over, and their numbers and their followers, which
yeah.
is still good and still big, but they really rely on that. And you still got to be in contact with people.
Right.
You still got to touch, see, and feel people, and people still got to touch, see, and feel your product. It can't just all be driven by social media.
No, you're right, because you know what, I don't want to carry too long on this, but a lot of people, say, oh, he has small numbers. Like I have about 30-something hundred on Instagram, right?
Right.
But what they don't know is that when in my analytics, my reach is thousands.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not hard to tell
in my analytics.
Yeah, you look at people's numbers and then you look at their likes and it just don't match.
Yeah, you don't match.
Do the percentage. Remember math back in school? You just type it in. How many likes you got versus how many
Yeah.
people are following you. If it says 1%, that's your percent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean
that's
that's what it is. I mean, people like me that really follow things like that. But, the younger generation isn't taught that way. They're just kind of taught a different way.
It's really different. So where can everyone find you at? Because I know people are going to be hitting you up about all this great stuff, man.
Well, you're only going to find me through these products.
All right,
so follow them, axism.com, and of course on Instagram, axism. So if you're looking to build your brand and you want to put your logo on some dope ass pieces, hoodies, all the blanks, hoodies, pullovers, t-shirts, contact Axism. That's us. And then Caviar Gold, brother. Check out Caviar Gold. Check out the new Caviland dispensary. And for now, these are the two brands that we are putting out there, and we want everyone to check out straight up.
All right.
And thank you once again, man, for
having me.
I
love the fact because I asked you just to promote right now, and you still didn't even put your own. You're promoting this.
Well, I'm not going to accept anybody on my Instagram.
No, but I know that. I love that about you because that just shows. No, it shows that he's all about what he promotes.
Yeah,
I love it.
I meet you in person, then we'll get to know each other. Other than that, check out the brand.
All right, guys. You heard it from the man himself, PFUNK, man. I hope you guys find him out and about, but you might not because he's always on the high end stuff. You know what I mean?
Rolling, brother.
He's rolling, but hey,
no, never on just the high end, man. We got to keep it 100, man.
That's why you came here. That's why you came here, right?
Gutter.
But hey, man,
I'm saying the gutter on up. Nah, this is dope. You guys got a great facility, and anybody that comes here in the future, just know you'll be treated respectfully and
thank you,
a great style you guys got going on here, man.
Appreciate you,
I love
man.
your little chiquito poquito.
All right, guys, we thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming out. Thank you guys, Caviar. I really appreciate you guys and everything you guys do too. And you know what? Check it out. I'll put more in the information in the description. But hey, see you guys next week. All right, we're out. What's up, everybody? I hope you guys enjoyed the show. But look, just a few things before you go. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. We really appreciate it, but it's all about you and you helping us get the word out about JR and the crew. So, hey, don't forget, every Wednesday, 9 a.m.